Thank you, Madam President. Buenas tardes a todos. Before I begin my regular monthly comments, I want to take some time to commend two of our employees from Littleton Elementary School. Last week, one of the teachers was found unresponsive on the classroom floor. Principal Lori Eastup and Martha Ryman, the school nurse, jumped into action, teamed up to provide CPR until paramedics arrived. The paramedics said they most likely saved the teacher's life. Because of privacy issues, we can't report on the health status of the teacher except to say that there is still a health status thanks to these two women. The board would like to commend you both on your actions, so would you please come forward and be recognized. All right, well, the climate of our staff to begin the year has been very good in our schools, and classrooms are off to an orderly start. Our theme for the coming year is the best day of my life. Pre-service was well organized, and we processed just about 100 new teachers, ramped up programs for the first day of school. On Wednesday, we welcomed new teachers to the district on July 18th with breakfast sponsored by Southwest Food Services and lunch at Peter Piper donated by the general manager. The Littleton Education Association also provided breakfast for new teachers on the 19th as their orientation continued. Each school participated in a community walk with staff, and staff were able to visit neighborhoods that their kids lived in, greet our families, and visit the neighborhoods where their kids lived. In addition, teachers sent postcards home welcoming each of their students back to the new school year. Meet the Teacher Night was the Monday before classes started, and our schools were packed with smiling faces and their families. Teachers were happily greeting their students and providing information about their classrooms. The annual kickoff, which has already been mentioned, was a memorable event. I want to thank Board President Mrs. Sosnick for welcoming the staff, and for all of you who were there. Mrs. Nielsen, Mr. Rader, Ms. Reyes, showing your support. That's greatly appreciated by the staff. Other distinguished guests included Kelly Gentile, President of Littleton Education Foundation, Netta Schiffer, a Littleton Education Foundation board member, Stephanie Carlin, who's also a foundation board member and vice mayor for the city of Avondale, as well as Rick Miller, who's the founder of Kids at Hope. Our keynote speaker, as you heard, was Antoine Fisher, an accomplished screenwriter, a poet, lecturer, best-selling author, co-producer, and subject to the classic film, Antoine Fisher. He told stories of his life that reminded the audience in a very personal way that any child can triumph despite the most adverse circumstances. Well, except for transportation issues, opening day was very smooth in our schools. We had the usual issues with kindergartners leaving their moms, but there was a lot of wonderful energy in the air and smiling students ready to learn. Much of the first couple days of schools is learning routines and expectations that will help make our students successful learners. We identified some critical miscommunication in transportation on the first day and corrected much of that right away. The rest of the week, we provided support and feedback to get students and staff more efficiently execute the planned schedule. As is the case every year, there are unplanned things that come up, and there were changes. There are changes in the community's behavior around getting to and from school. Some families requested school changes to help getting to school, and others have come up with their own alternatives. The district will be installing Zoner's ZPass student and GPS solution in September thanks to a $50,000 grant the district received this summer. That may also lead to other efficiencies. While route times are improving, if our ridership remains as high as it is, it'll be nearly impossible for us to maintain our schedule. So the interval between the first and last bell schedules, which is currently at 54 minutes, that's the gap. starting after-school professional development and student athletic contests. We're monitoring transportation participation. At current rates, we may need to increase that interval to as much as 70 minutes to maintain an on-time schedule. So changing start times would require board action. So I'll be working with President Sosnick to see if a special meeting needs to be scheduled and we need to make those changes. Our staff is also pulling together to cover classes because of severe shortage of substitute teachers. This has been necessary due to pervasive shortage of teachers in Arizona, even with heavy recruiting all throughout our state. With fewer people entering the field and more experienced ones retiring or leaving the profession for more lucrative careers, according to Associate Superintendent of Highly Effective Teachers and Leaders of the Department of Education, Cecilia Johnson, we are in a crisis. There are substitutes covering classes all over Arizona's school districts, including ours. Right now we have 3 of them who are also certified teachers, fully certified teachers, and the other 4 are regular substitutes. Although we're not in the position of needing to use the high definition telepresence as a staffing solution this year, we're going to continue to partner with MCESA to provide professional development and support in using interactive media because we know we're going to need to develop our proficiency in delivering this form of instruction. We have some exciting news on the first day of school this year. We had almost the exact number of students we had on the last day, or the first day last year. Growing enrollment usually stresses the system, as we're seeing in transportation, but school choice has helped us manage our instructional programs. Typically, it takes many weeks to see our enrollment return to what we ended with the previous school year. This year, after only 8 days of school, we've almost recaptured the head count by May. At the close of last week, we had 300 students more than we did this time last year. Although it's early in the year, numbers are indicating that many families are choosing Littleton, and we're cautiously optimistic about seeing in the first 2 weeks of school what the enrollment will be as it settles. We're keeping a close eye on student counts and our class size targets. We have some grade levels that are closed at capacity and some with space for new enrollees. Dr. Kelly will touch on enrollment when she discusses staffing later in the meeting tonight. The human resource staff continues to work hard to recruit, and we'll keep working to get teachers who still haven't gotten jobs back in their home states that aren't starting as early as we are. The current staffing situation drives home the point of how devastatingly underfunded Arizona's K-12 education system has become. Veterans are leaving, college students aren't entering the teaching profession because of the challenging conditions. Anti-government politicians would like to blame administration, but I think by now most people know our state school administrative costs are some of the lowest in the nation. So clearly the bottom line is the bottom problem. Littleton School District has enjoyed the support of voters for educator salaries and special programs for our students since 2002, and those funds matter more today than any other time. Voters also passed Proposition 123 last May, resulting in average raises for our staff of 4 1/6%, up to 5.35% for the most senior staff. So I want to remind everyone of the importance of upcoming elections and remind everybody, regardless of how you plan to vote, to get out and to vote or to mail in your ballot. There are now numerous websites dedicated to reporting how politicians have voted on key issues such as public education, and everyone needs to not only live up to the civic responsibility, but to model good civic engagement for our students. It's part of being a child's ace and a treasure hunter, and the deadline for registering for primaries is passed. There's still plenty of time to register for the general election, so get engaged. In 2012, our voters approved a capital override that's been funding an infusion of learning technology for our students. This year, we expect to have over 3,000 students with laptops across the district, one-to-one, freeing up our technology labs for the 7th and 8th graders to use them more often. This program is focused on getting devices to students in grades 3 through 6 so they can use them for their first new online assessments next week. We're committed to putting technology in the hands of Littleton students quickly so that using it becomes a normal part of instruction and makes taking AZ Merit more of a familiar medium. Registration for our district's first session of Choice Professional Development is open, and during Choice PD, teachers and administrators have the opportunity to engage in one of 25 different sessions that provide them with tools, resources, and skills to further develop their educational toolbox so we can provide high quality and comprehensive learning opportunities for all of our students. We're excited to offer sessions provided through Arizona State University, University of Phoenix, and the West Valley Arts Council. We're also proud to report that Miss Jessica Cummins, a 6th grade teacher at Collier Elementary School, was featured in the video series called The Spirit of Sharing, developed by Beyond Textbooks. The video depicts 2 teachers from 2 different organizations who both have success with their students using the same resources. Our summer feeding program had another year of high community participation. Meals were served at Country Place in Littleton Monday through Friday, June 1st through July 15th, and meals were served here at the Bistro, June 1st through July 28th. A total of 11,435 meals were provided free to children in our community. Excuse me. For the 2016-2017 school year, the Child Nutrition Department is rolling out a lean and green menu. Vegetarian items will be available daily, and select days will be lean and green vegetable-based items. Country Place staff had the opportunity to participate in 3 days of world-class professional learning this summer, thanks to a grant from I Am a Leader Foundation. We told you about it at the last meeting. They spent 2 full days learning about the 7 habits of highly effective people, and 1 full day learning about launching leadership, helping the staff learn to implement the 7 habits and leadership with the students. The staff's really excited about the upcoming learning opportunities and created the 7th grade Kinder Buddy leadership role. 33 students have already filled out applications for the role just 2 days, and more students are interested, so they're looking forward to a lot of success with that program. Basketball season will be starting soon. Coaches have been preparing for the season, and many students are eager to participate in tryouts. In closing, I'd also like to express our thanks to I'm a Leader Foundation and its primary sponsors, Andrew and Peggy Chernick, for their student and staff materials donation. Excuse me, to Patricia Johnson of Sodexo Dairy Council of Arizona for their $2,000 donation to the Breakfast in the Classroom program. And that's all I have this evening.